Hey lovers, Anthea Spark here. So I wanted to do a reading today for your inner child. So I do a lot of work with people's inner child. So I wanted to do a reading today to talk about what it is that you can do to support your inner child to set you free. Yeah, because I believe that our inner child holds us back, and if we have unresolved issues from the past, from our younger parts, then I believe that they haunt us and they hold us back. So I wanted to do a reading today to see how your inner child it potentially is holding you back and what it is that you need to begin to move forward. I'm trying to do these as straight as I can. So I'm going to pull 6 cards. There we go. Okay, so we have the first card that we have here is the runner. Yeah, so the runner's all about disappearing when things get too hard. So has there been a time, or has there been times in your life where when you're confronted with certain situations or when you're challenged to address certain things within yourself, that you actually run? So see the little girl, she's holding a teddy and she looks like a ghost. She's disappearing. So do you actually ghost yourself when it comes to really looking forward and addressing what it is that you need to address within yourself so that you can move forward? So if you do, if this is something that you've done in the past, the cards are suggesting that now is a really good time to turn around and come back and begin to reconnect with yourself, because when you run, you're just running away from your problems. You're running away from the things that you actually need to look at in order to move forward. So what I'm seeing with some of my clients too is if they do run from themselves, they're also running from other people, they're running from relationships, they're running from their responsibilities. And the other thing I will say is that this just might be one aspect of your life. You might be a really successful business person, or you might be a business owner, or you might be a brilliant father or mother. You may be really brilliant in other aspects of your life. So this doesn't mean that when I say running from your commitments, it doesn't mean that I'm suggesting you're running from everything. You know, this might just be one aspect of your life. So that's the disappearing act card. The next card that we have, which follows the runner, is the Queen of Clarity, which is all about the exciting times that come ahead when you gain clarity from the water. Yeah, so if you look closely, she's actually underwater, and water represents emotions, and she's sitting in her emotions. She's not going to stay there forever, but she's gone in there, and she's gone in there to explore her emotions and to understand herself better. Because when you understand yourself better, then you can really understand why it is you do the things that you do. And if there's things that you don't like about yourself that you do, like running, for example, then you can begin to change it. You can begin to change it through clarity. And when you do change these things, when you do gain those awarenesses, the energy within you, it shifts and it changes. And then you're actually making room for new things to enter your life. And that's why this card also represents, once you've gone in and you've done that work and you've looked at your emotions, you've made room for some exciting stuff to come through. So that's really important, that card. The next card that we've got here is the Knight of Control. And this is all about toxic ties. So this card is suggesting that perhaps you have been overly controlling. Perhaps you don't let things flow easily in your life. And this is all about looking at where you have toxic ties in your life. So I don't necessarily believe that people are toxic. I just believe that at times the ties between people can become really toxic. And when you cut those ties, so what do I mean by ties? I mean like memories and things that have happened between us that have left us feeling bitter and sad and angry. And when we have these kinds of ties with people, we see through the eyes of those ties. Yeah, we don't see that person as we once saw them in the past. We now see them through the toxic ties. So it's really important to explore letting go of control a little bit, unclenching your fists, yeah, opening up to releasing these toxic ties so that you can have a new relationship with this person. So I'll give you an example. If you're divorced or if you're in the process of getting a divorce and you have children, that would be a really important relationship to try and change. Yeah, not only for yourself, but also for your children. So if you have toxic ties with the mother or father of your children, then you would be seeing that person through the toxic ties with bitterness, with hatred, with resentment, with anger, probably still with some love too, and sadness. But it's really important for you, in order to move forward in that relationship, you need to cut these toxic ties. Find a way to forgive yourself. And if you choose to forgive the other person, because in forgiving, I'm not saying forgive them for what they have done to you or for what has happened, but finding a way to forgive whatever happened between you two, finding a way, forgive but don't forget, basically. That's it. That's what that card is saying, yeah? So cut the toxic ties. So remember, this reading is for you, yeah? This reading is all about you and your inner child and what your inner child needs to be healed and to be set free. And sometimes it's our adult self. Like here, if these toxic ties are from your relationships, and this could also be that these toxic ties are with your parents as well. So if you've had a toxic relationship with your mother or father and you're seeing your parents still through the eyes of the inner child, then again, it comes back to you're seeing them through toxic ties, yeah? Okay, so the next card is the Knight of Success. And this card is all about expansion and growth. And if you can see he's got his sword resting on his shoulder and he's walking away. He has done the work. His job is done, but he's walking away proud. Like his head is held up high. He has acted with integrity. He has been fair and he has used his voice. Yeah, he's begun to use his voice. And often as children, we have no voice and we sometimes carry that through into our adult life. So I believe that this card, especially coming off the bat of the Toxic Ties card, is suggesting that through doing this work, through cutting your toxic ties and also dealing with your emotions and learning more about yourself, you have to start to use your voice. And that can be a really hard thing to do, especially if you've never done it before. You can actually have really dramatic physical reactions to using your voice, like shaking, breaking out in a sweat, feeling really anxious. These are all like physical responses to using your voice, but it does get easier the more you do it. And you'll probably have emotional reaction too. So you'll probably feel guilt and wish you could take it back and then try and find a way to change it. And this all comes from taking your power back and stepping into your power and beginning to use your voice. But it's really important for your expansion and growth that you begin to use your voice. to stand up for yourself, to not let yourself become manipulated by others, not let yourself be taken advantage of. And in doing that, you will walk away feeling really proud of yourself. Yeah, so it's all about, I'm really getting a sense of these cards suggesting that it's time to let go of the inner child, like heal the inner child and let go, so that the inner child can go off and play, so that you can really step into the adult version of you. And the adult takes responsibility, and the adult doesn't let people walk all over them. Yeah? So if you're a really nice person and you're used to letting people walk all over you, this is suggesting that it's time to start using your voice. And using your voice doesn't mean confrontation. It means, like, there's a really beautiful way in which you can learn to communicate that doesn't need to be confronting and doesn't actually need to end in a disaster. So when you do that work and you begin to take your power back and you begin to stand up for yourself, you are going to open your heart even more. See how she's got her chest out and she's like, her arms are back, and she's fearless. She's ready to go. She's ready to chase her dreams. It's a really beautiful card. So this card is all about success and victory, and that when you begin to listen to your intuition and you begin to use your voice and you let go of those toxic ties and you change the way you see things, you are going to get to that place of success. And it's all on you. Like, you have the power to change this whole story. And I'm getting that you're probably known for a while that these are all things that you need to do. You've just been avoiding it because it is hard. It is hard to come back and face the truth, and it is hard to process your emotions and not see the world through toxic ties anymore. So, but you can, and you will. And it may be scary when you step into the river of change, but as you do step into the river of change and you begin to move with these leaps and bounds, you will learn how to be in the adult version of you. So this card, the last card, is the Lady of Secrets, which is all about struggle and manipulation. Yeah. Now see how she's got her back turned to us. She's walking away from struggle and manipulation. So this is you. This is you making a really setting a conscious intention that you are going to now walk away from manipulation and struggle. You're done. You are done with being a secret. You're done with keeping secrets. You're ready to be open and honest and really charge forward with your life. So it's a very freeing card, this one. Like, you really get to set yourself free from all of the baggage of the past, and only you can do it. Only you can decide to cut those ties and begin to walk a different path. So I'm just going to pick a couple of cards from my Illuminate Oracle deck as well and see what other messages we've got here for the inner child. That can, what messages do we have to help us move forward when we're healing our inner child? Let's have a look. Okay, so the first card we have here is I see beauty in the world. So this is all about, and this comes back to the toxic ties, I think. It's all about changing the way you see things. So when you cut the toxic ties and you begin to no longer see the world through toxic ties, you see them through adult eyes, you begin to see beauty in the world. You can choose, yeah? You choose, I choose, we all choose what we want to see. And so this is a really beautiful affirmation that you can say over and over. I choose to see beauty in the world. The next card is my heart is my compass, and this is all about listening to your intuition and following your heart. I was talking with a client yesterday about living in your heart as opposed to living in your head. It's harder to live in your heart. It really is. When you're in your head, you can push people away, you can run, you can disappear, you can let the ego take over, and it's easier. It's easier to do that. It's easier to hate people or be angry at people, and because then you have a reason. You have a reason to be stuck, a reason to run, a reason to disappear. But when you live in your heart and you really feel everything that's in there, and sometimes it's sadness and sometimes it's joy, that's where you hear the voice of your intuition so clearly and so loudly. And what happens is when things happen, or when someone asks you to do something and you hear your intuition that loudly, you don't have to think about it. You'll know straight away if it's a yes or a no for you. You will just know. That is how good things can get when you allow your heart to be your compass. And the last one is, I trust in the flow of life, which I think is really important, because the cards indicate that you're about to let go of all of this stuff. You're about to do some work, and you're about to find a new path to walk down. And when you begin to walk down that new path, it can be unfamiliar and scary. But what's important to remember is that your intuition will always guide you to where you need to go. So it's really important that you begin to trust in the flow of life. And in trusting in the flow of life, your intuition will always guide you to where it is that you need to be. So trust is a really big one. Trust is something that if you don't have trust, like if you don't have self-trust, you don't trust other people, you don't trust life, you second guess everything and everyone, and it's a really draining way to live. Yeah, really, really draining way. So if there's parts of you that you don't trust, if there's a reason why you don't trust yourself, then it's really important to begin to look at that. And you can look at that when you do this work, when you go within. Only you know the answer to that. So I'm just going to pick a couple of affirmation cards to end the reading from my Healing Little You affirmation deck. These cards were designed for children and adults who are healing their inner child. So this is all about, these cards were designed to support you to have a more positive mindset. I'm going to pick a couple of cards here. I accept change with ease. And I love my life. So I accept change with ease. So it is really hard to change. We get really comfortable. We get really comfortable in living our life the way it is right now. And the reason why we get stuck sometimes is because the truth is that we know how to be the person who has this pain and this suffering. Yeah, even though we want to be this other person who is happy and free and in love and living this amazing life, we often sabotage ourselves so we don't go there, because we don't know how to be that person. We know how to be the person who's suffering. We know how to be the person who's in our pain. And so this is a good affirmation for you, for anyone really, to just repeat over and over again. I accept change with ease. And repeat it over and over again when resistance kicks in, when fear kicks in, when you begin to struggle. That is a great one to keep repeating. And the other one is, I love my life. Now, if you continue to repeat these things, like I love my life, you will find new things to love about your life. You will find new ways to be happy. And affirmations are really powerful because they are talking to your unconscious mind. And your unconscious mind is the driver of your vehicle. And wherever you tell your unconscious mind to go, it will drive you there. So it's really important to fill your mind with positivity and watch the words you speak. So these two are perfect for that. So thank you for watching my video. If you have enjoyed it, please like, subscribe and share. And I look forward to supporting you all again soon. Have a beautiful day.